Hey everyone, this is Frank from the Shoot Once podcast. Trying something a little different today, just doing some different video stuff, things that I'd like to talk about with you guys as far as the NHL, hockey, everything going on in the world. A little different because, with a podcast, obviously everything's audio. I wanted to do something that might require a little more visual stuff, and we're doing more of the show as far as a video on the YouTube page. So, thought I would share this out there with you. So there's been some talk here over the last few days about more of these, as far as how the NHL is going to restart. And the idea that's gained steam over the last couple of days was that it would be in 4 different arenas. Now, today, Gary Bettman did a conversation with Ron McLean through Sportsnet. You can see that whole conversation on their YouTube page, which I'd recommend checking it out. It's got some good information, some good ideas on how Gary Bettman's thinking about this, which is important because right now, something you kind of got to be thinking more about is the mindset of the people involved, less than the particulars, which is a weird thing to say, I know, because this whole episode is going to be about the particulars of what's going on, and just kind of guessing and thinking about brainstorming what might be a good idea. Now, one of the ideas that came out earlier today was that the league had looked at trying to do like one arena in each division. It's going to have some issues in and of itself. But what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Kind of my idea on what might be the best way to do this. And there's a couple of assumptions we're making. One, that governments are okay with these types of events starting. Now these are assuming no spectators. That it is just players, officials, all the people necessary to doing a game and broadcasting the game. So that's what we're really looking at as far as saying how these events would be put on place. The other assumption is that players are able to come back from other countries. I don't think the NHL, especially if we're talking about the time frame right now, it sounds like Bettman saying 3 weeks for training camp. I could almost see a scenario in which you have training camp starting up mid to late May for a mid-June restart to both finish the season and then do the playoffs. Now, the advantage of doing these in a small groups of arenas is if there's little travel time, you could get things moving quickly, especially with the playoffs. I don't think it would be a problem then. It'd be very easy to do a playoff game every other day. He even talked about, for finishing up the regular season, doing 3 games a day in an arena. So that would get a little crazy. But here's the idea I had in mind for some things. So, look at a nice little map here of the Midwestern United States. Why did I pick the Midwest, you ask? First of all, the Midwest has not been particularly hard hit. Now, Michigan's had some rough goes. But Ohio did a lot of shutting down early. Pennsylvania's talking about trying to reopen some stuff. Now, I'm not sitting here making judgments on how smart that is or what's going on. That's for other people than me. I'm just trying to give an idea of this analytically from a hockey standpoint, what we're probably looking at. Now, Bettman said today that the games will probably happen in NHL arenas. And the reason for that he gave was what he called back-of-house issues. And with back-of-house issues, you're talking about, he mentioned specifically having like 4 locker rooms in there. He mentioned having all the production stuff for coaches and trainers and everything else, and then the stuff for the TV vans, all that kind of stuff that you would need for these to happen. Now, taking a look at this map, the reason I didn't pick the East Coast is that obviously New York City, which would be the kind of the central point of all this, is in obviously they're in a state of emergency with what's going on. When you look to the Midwest, right away there are 4 hockey cities in relatively close proximity: Detroit, Columbus, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. Now, there's some interesting caveats. If you wanted to, you could push to Chicago too. But here's the caveats right off the bat. Detroit to Columbus, Columbus to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, I think, to Buffalo. Even if you're not taking flights, these are bus rides that are just a few hours. And I'm talking 2 to 3 hours, which isn't that bad for trying to get from one NHL city to another. Obviously, you could still do flights. Private flights probably wouldn't be too much of an issue. But if you're really trying to contain how much people are around each other, like if teams are going to have a bus driver who's going to work with them, which that could be in the cards, having places that are in bus drives are probably a good idea. Columbus, once you start getting to Chicago, you're stretching a little bit. Buffalo might be a bit of a stretch, but the advantage of Buffalo is Buffalo has their arena, and the arena has 2 attached practice ice rinks. Pittsburgh, I don't think they have an attached practice. Detroit does have an attached practice rink. Columbus also has an attached practice rink. Columbus also has something that I don't, and from what I've been able to tell, these other cities don't have. Columbus has a second arena, known as the Schottenstein Center. And I pulled up this information about the Schottenstein Center off their website. It's a PDF kind of giving you the layout. They have 4 locker rooms that they say if they need to be larger, you can take these out, these walls here, and make those locker rooms larger. So you could have 2 locker rooms, potentially 4, depending on if it fits. They also have these star locker rooms. And the Schottenstein Center hosts the Ohio State men's basketball team and their hockey teams. It is set up to be able to do television in the way you would need to. So theoretically, between these 4 cities, you've got attached ice for practice. So you got 1 extra one here, and then 2 here. So you got 4 practice rinks. You've got 4 NHL arenas, and then in Columbus you've got a 5th arena that I think could meet your needs. The other interesting thing you could throw in there, so you don't want to go all the way to Chicago, Indianapolis, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, can host hockey, and it's an NBA arena, so it would have everything you would need as far as all that back of house stuff. Now I was pulling up images of how this looked on their website. Maybe this will pull up the way I need it to here. But when you look at a hockey game being played at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, it looks a lot like the Barclays Center. The scoreboard's off, the seats are kind of janky and kind of off place. You can see it here in some different ways, how it's off to the side. I think I had a larger image of it here from the Youngstown Phantoms when they maybe went there once. But something to remember, that's not important for a TV-only game. I mean, you're already not going to have the fans, so the atmosphere portion of it doesn't matter all that much. It's taking forever to load up. But it gives you an idea here. I mean, it wouldn't matter. See, it looks right around here. It looks just like a lot like Barclays Center, because you got this row here. But again, there's no fans in any of these things. So as long as you can film it for television and you have places for all the people, it's fine. So just a quick thought, something different. A way to try and make this work in as condensed a space as possible. And if you even need to throw in another arena, Cleveland, I mean, probably better than Indianapolis, Cleveland has they host the Cleveland Monsters, the Blue Jackets AHL affiliate. It's an NBA arena, so it has all the hookups for TV. It has plenty of room. It's a major arena. So literally in this little space, you're just getting up to 5-6 arenas if you count the Schottenstein Center in Columbus. They're going to host games. So this little region, I think, would be a really good way to kind of do this. None of these cities, well, Detroit's pretty kind of rough, but they may be on the other side of it, and we'll see what their governor's looking at doing. Again, this was assuming the governors are fine with it, so long as you have nobody there. But that would give you cities here, cities that are easy travel to each other, so it's a thought. Thank you all for checking out the video. Like, subscribe to the show on Google Play, Spotify, anything else there. But thank you for watching.